Water. There are other solutions to reach a stable number of electrons. What could be combined with oxygen, O, so that it can effectively attain 10 electrons? Remember, you can't use helium since it is inert and won't combine with anything. Discuss. Each oxygen atom has 8 electrons. Each hydrogen atom has 1 electron. So if one oxygen atom is combined with 2 hydrogen atoms, we have 10 electrons. That's very stable. This chemical equation says that 2 hydrogen atoms combine with 1 oxygen atom to form one H2O molecule. The H2O molecule is very common and has a special name, water. It's a little more complicated in that we never find oxygen alone. It's always found as O2. So what actually occurs is this. 2 H2 molecules combine with 1 O2 molecule to form 2 H2O molecules. Notice that we're not changing the number of each type of atom, just how they're combined into molecules. We start out with 4 hydrogen atoms and 2 oxygen atoms. We end up with 4 hydrogen atoms and 2 oxygen atoms. This is true in all of chemistry. We rearrange atoms. We don't create or destroy atoms. Fill a container with hydrogen and oxygen gas and nothing happens. That's because the bonds of the H2 molecules and the bonds of the O2 molecule have to be broken before the new bonds of the H2O molecules can be formed. This is a case of an unstable equilibrium, a rock on the very edge of a cliff. Breaking those H2 and O2 molecular bonds requires energy, which can be supplied by a flame. The flame breaks some bonds, the resulting explosion breaks the rest. These two videos show that the flame is needed to create the reaction, and neither hydrogen or oxygen burns by itself. It needs to react with another element. All the energy you saw released in the explosion results in very strong bonds holding together a water molecule. All the energy of that explosion would have to be put back into the water molecule to break it apart. That's why if you throw water on a fire, it puts it out. Water is very stable. It is the lowest energy state of hydrogen and oxygen. In this diagram of water, the hydrogen atoms are the red circles and the oxygen atom is the blue circle. The electrons from hydrogen are red and those from oxygen are blue. Count the total electrons in each atom. Each hydrogen atom has 2 electrons, one from hydrogen and one from oxygen. The oxygen atom has 10 electrons, 2 of its own electrons that it shares with the hydrogen atoms, 2 shared from the hydrogen atoms, and 6 of its own electrons which are not shared. So oxygen has the 10 electrons it needs, and each hydrogen has the 2 electrons that it needs. 2 other representations of water are shown on this and the next slide. Here is the ball and stick model. Here is the space filling model. Splitting H2O. In order to run this reaction backwards, you have to add energy equal to the energy released in the explosion. It's like carrying the rock back up to the top of the cliff. But that's what trees and plants need to do to grow. Life evolved in water, and water has shaped the evolution of life. As a result, all living things depend on water. Water is the solution of life, our medium. Living things are filled with water, and almost all chemical reactions that take place in living things take place in water.